Find your way. 10. Continue to take personal inventory and wrong, promptly admit it. That allows me to not find myself going into a deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper state of resentment, dis-ease, disharmony, so that because I'm only going to do an inventory every 5 years, that builds over a period of 5 years until I get some relief. No, I want the daily experience of the relief being there, of this working, of being free. I don't want to slowly over time, in sobriety, gradually become tethered once again to the disease of alcoholism. I don't want to end up with the obsession of the mind returning. Now, if there's another guy I know in the program that says, I think I could stay sober and comfortable that way, doing half of the things I do. The only problem is I don't know which half that is, so I just keep doing all the stuff that I do. I'm with that guy. I have a great life as a result of what I do. If it works, don't fix it. I've always gone to lots of meetings. I've always been sponsored. I've been sponsored for every moment of my sobriety except for 3 hours. That's how long after Donald died I had another sponsor. I'm of service. I sponsor a lot of guys. I sponsor some remarkable people, absolutely remarkable people. And I also sponsor knotheads. I sponsor a guy who he's been around 12 years now. I think he's sober 3 weeks again. And I sponsored him for 12 years. Question. If you have someone who continuously relapses, Earl, shouldn't you encourage them to seek another sponsor? Yeah. And if he doesn't go, fine. It's not my decision. It's not up to me. It's not, believe me, I'm not the weak link in his game plan. He has been exposed to everything that is necessary to become comfortably sober and stay that way. He just doesn't choose to do it on a regular basis. So, he regularly gets loaded. And then he gets to the place where he wants to put a gun in his mouth, and he calls me and he comes back. And when he wants to tell me how much pain he's in, I don't listen to him. I say, I don't want to hear about the problem, let's talk about the solution. I'm familiar with the pain and the madness. Let's talk about how we stay sober. Then we'll do that for a while, and he'll get relief, and the minute he gets relief, he stops doing it because he's got the relief. And then it goes away because he stopped doing it. That's the part he seems to miss. You get it because of what you're doing. Then keep doing what you're doing and you'll keep getting it. You stop doing what you're doing, it's going to go away. You with me? That's amazing. All right. So, 11. Ooh, we're getting close, aren't we? We're getting close. 11. I seek through prayer and meditation to improve my conscious contact with God, praying for knowledge of His will for me and the power to carry that out. I think it's a self-explanatory step. What do I pray for? What should I be praying for? How about I pray for knowledge of His will for me and the power to carry that out? Period. The end, thank you. Why don't I pray for knowledge of His will for me and the power to carry that out? Now, I can pray for world peace. I can pray for a new bike on Christmas. I can pray for her. I can pray for all of you. Anything wrong with any of these prayers so far? No. What could I pray for that take all that into account? Keep me out of the solution, keep me out of expectation. As a result, keep me out of everything except my part in this. And align me in a position to be of maximum service to God and my fellows. What could I do to take all that into consideration? How about I pray for knowledge of God's will for me and the power to carry that out? Just right back, boom. Nice and simple, nice and simple. Pray for that. Can I add stuff? Sure. Can I do stuff instead of that? Absolutely. Donald had a horrible prayer. He'd get mad at somebody, he'd pray for them to get what they deserve. That was as gracious as he could be. He used to get a kick out of it. Somebody'd say something to him in a meeting or something that he didn't like. We'd all go, well, he's going to be praying for that guy. Knowledge of His will for me and the power to carry that out. That's what I pray for. That's what the step tells me to do. I seek God. It's on me. I don't stand there waiting for God to present Himself to me. I seek God. It's an action step. I seek God through prayer and meditation. Now, when I went to Al S. after Donald, we sat down and we reviewed my program, and he said, Earl, you're firing on all cylinders. You're doing great. You're catching the buzz. You're spreading the word. You're doing the deal, man. You're doing the deal. Love it. He goes, now about this meditation thing. Do you meditate much? I said, well, what do you mean by much? I'm coming up on 14 years and actually not yet, no. He says, well, I think you should explore meditation. I said, okay. Being a good little AA sponsee, I was deferring to the thinking of my sponsor. I called up a friend of mine, said, about this meditation thing, I think we need to explore it. He said, great. We found a place that was a school for meditation. We took a 6-week course on meditation, and we began to practice meditation on a daily basis. Why on earth would I, a Westerner, a linear thinker, not so much anymore, but at least my culture raises me to be that kind of way, think in a very linear fashion, not to approach this spherically at all. Don't let me get started on that. Okay. Right? I'm here. Right? I meditate to quiet the mind so that when the answers come, I can hear them. Okay? I don't get letters in the mail from God. God doesn't talk to me through the radio anymore. But I do get a sense of what the right thing is for me to do when I pray and meditate. The answers come to me in the form of a thought, an idea, an intuition. The book tells me that I'll come to rely upon these things, this sixth sense. It comes to me through meditation. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools available to an individual like me. It is not the nature of the body to be still. It is not the nature of the mind to be quiet. When I meditate, I sit still and attempt to quiet the mind. And people are always coming up to me and saying, well, how do you do it? I mean, give me, and I say, well, you want a real simple, easy way to meditate? Fine. Sit down on the floor, sit cross-legged, and if you got a bad back, or you got this, and you can't do the lotus thing, don't worry about it. Sit in a chair. Just sit down. Sit down, get comfortable, spine straight, relaxed, palms up, in your lap, get loose, get easy, head upright, get comfortable. Close your eyes if you want to. If you don't, fine. Mouth slightly open. Breathe in through your nose in a slow and easy motion where there isn't the sense of breathing. So you're not getting that, but just. And then very slowly, out through the mouth. Just very slowly. It's working already. 2 guys just went like this. All right? And you breathe in slowly, and you breathe out slowly. All right? Very simple meditation. Count from 1 to 4. 1, 2, out with 2, in with 3, out with 4. And then start again. In with 1, out with 2, in with 3, out with 4. I will guarantee you that the majority of the people in this room, when I just counted from 1 to 4 twice, didn't stay with me. You thought about something else. You found some way to object to that. You were in conflict on some level with it. Or you simply just started to think about him or her or it or when or how or under what circumstances. You just went into something else. Because that's what we do. This isn't about getting good at staying on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the next 20 minutes. This is about recognizing when you've wandered off, accepting and acknowledging that, and coming back to 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not about staying at 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about being willing to come back to it. Because you're never going to stay there. We wander. The body's being still. The body doesn't like to be still. The brain subconsciously, while you're counting to 4, will say, tighten up his left butt cheek. And you'll go, 1, 2, God, my ass hurts. Never mind that. Back to 1, 2, 3, 4. Back you go. 1, 2. Girl in the fourth row is very attractive. Oh, sorry. 1, 2. The guy over there to the left laughs a lot. I like him. He seems to be pleased with me. That's all that's required for me to like it. Shit! All right, wait. 1, 2. You just... Right? It's the nature of the mind to scurry about. The body doesn't want to sit still. Right? When the glute tension didn't do it, right? It'll say, make his left foot cold. What? Why the hell is my left foot cold? Because your brain's trying to get your ass up out of the chair to go do something. You can't sit still, be quiet. But if you keep coming back to this and just experience your resistance to it, which is fascinating when you think about it, that you can't sit still and be quiet for 5 minutes. That's alarming. It's absolutely alarming. You start to see the urgent need for the meditation. So you sit and you begin. And this will happen to you. If you do this every morning, it's going to come. You're going to sit down and you're going to count to 4 once. You're going to open your eyes and it's been 20 minutes. And you're going to feel a lot. You woke up exhausted and you sat there for 20 minutes and you got up and you feel balanced. You feel peaceful. You feel calm. But you feel a great sense of energy. Not the caffeine kick, right? This steady, smooth, easy energy is there for you. And you're going to go, wow. And you're going to be very, very comfortable with decisions that have to be made that you were really stressing about. Because it's just clear that this is the right thing to do for you, and you can make the decision and then let it go. And not sit there second-guessing yourself for the next 2 days. You can make the decision and move on with your life. Next. Bring it. Next. And it's okay. And it's a remarkably powerful tool. Prayer and meditation. I seek God through these things. Why do I do that? Because without God, I'm in charge. Need I say more? Bad situation. Earl's in charge. Oh, God. We've seen his handiwork. Back to prayer. Turn it over to God. Give it to God. Give it to God. Whatever. That's a great prayer, by the way. Whatever. What does it say? Whatever. I surrender. Screw it. Take it. It's up to you. I'm your humble servant. Thy will, not mine, be done. I'm just going to go out here and attempt to maximize my service to you and to my fellows. I'm going to go to these meetings not to take from them, but to see what I can bring to them. So that when the newcomer walks in and goes, anybody in here got what I need? Yep. And it has nothing to do with my best thinking. Good news for us all. That's cool, right? So, that's what I do. I seek God through prayer and meditation to improve, to continually, to constantly, to hopefully, without ceasing, improve my conscious contact. Contact at awake. Conscious. Here. Now. Conscious of a contact with a power greater than myself. You bet. You bet. I have relationships with a few of the people in this room. Right? I can assure you that the nature of those relationships is remarkable to me. Some of the stories I can tell you about things that we've done. Right? A buddy of mine that I haven't seen in a while, I saw him last Friday the 13th when I came here. And I said, and he walked in today after the break and I got to see him. And whenever I see this guy, it just lights me up. He's not in the room right now. He's in the back so I can talk about him. So when he comes in, shh. His name's Steve. Right? I love this guy. We never talk. We don't have to. He's on the planet. It's a better place for me. I love him. Just love him. We were sitting on a beach in the Bahamas one day. Right? First of all, need I say more than that? Right? This maniac and I are sitting on a beach in the Bahamas. It's beautiful sands, water, birds, rocks. I mean, we're paradise. Two pagans in the middle of paradise, right? And we're sitting there. This is back when we smoked, and I said, he said, so you've been smoking these Cuban cigars? And I said, yeah, tasty, huh? He goes, yeah, I love them. It's great. And we're on a little island in the Bahamas, and I think it was called Eleuthera, right? That sounds like an illness, not an island. But there we were. Beautiful place. And I said, you think we could get some? Now, there's a couple old dope fiends, right? In an hour, we found Cuban cigars. We got up off the beach, got a ride into town, immediately went to the liquor store. Found a couple of guys, says, do you know a guy that would know a guy that could get us right? We need to tap into the Bahamian underground, right? We're tapped in 8 minutes. We go through a store to the back of the store to meet Mama so-and-so, who knows the guy who says the word to the bartender over at the club so-and-so, owned by the underworld kingpin of this particular island. We go to the bar, Code Blue. Great. Box of Cubans comes out. Right. They open it up. We take 6 or 7 of them, pay the guy, back in the cab, we're back on the beach within an hour smoking Cuban cigars. You gotta love this guy. That's history between us. We're sitting there just laughing at each other, right? Old habits die hard, bro. He just tapped right in and do that. And we had a blast. And that same guy now sit over dinner, and what we talk about is his daughter and how much he loves his daughter and how he's being a good father to his daughter, right? And then you meet his daughter and you see how she talks to him, and God, this child's in good hands. Right? How can I not love this man? Right? Do I need to talk to him every day? No. We're on the same path together. I know what he's doing. He knows what I'm doing. We see each other. The other day he emailed me for the first time, and it was a picture of him with a very prominent politician. It's hysterical. Standing there with his arm around this politician, right? Talk about worlds colliding, right? And I've got this picture, and I just sat there and laughed, and I had tears in my eyes, though, about how the world is our oyster, man, and jump in and can have this thing. If I continue to take personal inventory, and when I'm wrong, promptly admit it, I stay clean and I can go out there and do anything. If I seek God through prayer and meditation to improve my conscious contact with God, praying for knowledge of His will for me and the power to carry that out, if I'm doing that, I'm cool. I can get out there and jump in the game. Now, I got one thing left. But when you look at that triangle with a circle around it, right? Mind, body, and spirit brought together as a whole human being. Therein lies the balance that I seek but can't find, drunk or sober. Right? And that AA adopted that symbol, and unity is the body, I bring it here. I must be with my fellows. Recoveries of the mind, I work these steps. That 12th step, having had a spiritual awakening, is the result of working these steps. Having been restored to sanity, soundness of mind, having been relieved of the obsession to drink and use. Free. Third side of the triangle, spiritual. Service. I can practice these principles in all my affairs. Right? Which is what we're going to talk about when we come back. Step 12. Right. All right, I got another question. The question is, how many meetings should a newcomer go to? Let me put it this way. I do some work with some sober living homes out in my area, about an hour from where I live, and they require a lot of meetings. If you're going to if you're working full time, they require a minimum of 14 meetings a week. All right. The message is this: nothing gets in the way of a constant connection and commitment to Alcoholics Anonymous. Working full-time, terrific. Then you'll only do 14 meetings this week. Get what I'm saying? So those guys are at the 6:15 a.m. meeting, and they go to the 6:15 to 17 a.m. meeting at the 502 Club before they go to work. After work, very easy to hit at least one of the many, many meetings that are being conducted in that immediate area. Weekends, doubling up shouldn't be a problem. So 2 a day is nothing. The record is held by John C. 54 meetings in 1 week. So, if you're a newcomer, I would suggest a meeting a day. Suddenly, doesn't sound like much, does it? Go to a meeting a day. Why not? I think in the beginning, what we're doing in the beginning is different than any other time. What we're doing in the beginning is building a foundation upon which we will stand free men and women. free of the beast, free of the enslavement of alcoholism and drug addiction, right? We're building that foundation. I would suggest that it requires constant involvement, right? I mean, I don't want to build an okay foundation. I want to know that my foundation kicks ass. That's what I want to know. So I'm going to be involved on a daily basis. I'm calling my sponsor every day, doing what he asks. I'm going to a meeting a day. I went to him. They said, if they had said to me, Earl, I want you to go to a meeting a day for your first 5 years, we'll talk again then, I would have said, okay, clearly you're still drinking, because I ain't doing that. The fact of the matter is I went to way more meetings than a meeting a day for my first 5 years. Way more. Because I was doubling up on the weekends. Because I was hanging with my new friends, these sober guys. I was chasing her. She was sober. I needed to look very, very sober. All the wrong reasons. I'm building a very solid foundation. Again, what gets you there? People say, well, I don't know if that's a good way to get to AA. Please. I don't care how you get here. Well, I'm here because the judge made me come. Perfect. I got here because I thought it was a good idea. Perfect. I'm here so my wife won't leave me. Perfect. How you get here? How you get here? What causes you to stay? Perfect. Right? This ain't about the mindset. You're not going to think your way into right action. You're going to act your way into right thinking. That's what you're going to do. It's about footwork, man. The feet bring the head. Let's face it, when you get here, if you're anything like me, you may have kicked. You may not have kicked. But let's say the worst case scenario, you come here and you kick, go into meetings. Now you've kicked, you've dealt with the lesser aspect of your disease. You're now sitting in AA meetings with a head full of alcoholism, right? Beast is whispering in your ear. Oh, Beast in the ear going, what? He's looking right at you. Smile at him. Yeah, okay, good. It's going on in here. Fine. You brought him here. The ones that I love are the meetings where you go into and the guy raises his hand and says, Earl, the beast is talking to me right now. I mean, it's so loud, I'm surprised you guys can't hear it. Right? It's absolutely unbelievable, because the beast has sworn you to secrecy, and here you are talking out in plain view of other recovering alcoholics. Beast is like, oh, great, that was smooth. Right? I mean, I thought it was between us. If you're going to do this, and you know what? We're not talking. Excellent. Excellent. Bring it on out in the room. I love the guy who shares his hand and says, Bill, alcoholic. Came here today to tell you all to fuck off. Hate you. Hate alcoholics and not. Don't hate you as a group. I hate each and every one of you individually. Hate AA. Hate your pedestrian little book. Hate it all. Came here to let you know that's where I'm at. Thanks for letting me share. Half the room goes, well, all right, Bill. Way to go, man. Keep coming back, you sorry son of a bitch. Right? I love that guy, because you know what? That guy felt like that at home. And he got up off his ass, got in his car, and went to a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. And they said, would anybody like to share? He simply responded and told them the truth. He's not doing so bad, is he? Yes, he has a bad attitude. How shocking that one of us would have a bad attitude. And he's telling the truth. You go back 6 months later, right? Guess who's making the coffee there? And doubling is the GSR. He is. I remember going out to that Tuesday night workshop that I did for 5 years straight, on sabbatical now. And they brought in a guy who was in the house, Big Frank. Big Frank is an Hispanic gentleman. Big Frank been gang-banging his whole life. Big Frank's been in the system since he was a kid. All right? Big Frank got ink. First thing you meet on Big Frank is his neck. You know? I walk up and say, Frank, how you doing? He goes, come here, you. Let's get something straight. I am here so that I don't do time. This is why I'm here, Mr. Little White Man. And I am going to, you say go left, I will go left. I will do everything that you suggest to me to do. I will be in total compliance with the program here at this sober living facility. I will do everything I got. But the minute I got this beef off my back, the minute my case is resolved, I'm getting high. Are we clear? I said, Big Frank, we are clear. Now, since you're going to be here for a year, what you say you and I talk a little bit between now and then? Whatever floats your boat, little white man. Off Frank goes, right? Now, Frank was in the back of the meeting, and every day, Tuesday, I'd come in and say, Frank, how you doing? Apparently, that's just Frank's way of saying hello, you know? Frank and I talked about it a little bit every Tuesday night for a year. I am Frank's sponsor now. Frank just celebrated 4 years of sobriety. Not because I'm his sponsor, but because Frank was willing to talk about it. Frank was willing to take the actions that were requested of him during the course of that year. And as a result, a change occurred, and Frank is a free man. Frank and I hugged each other and cried when Frank came to me and said, my probation officer has lifted my probation. I'm no longer required to be anywhere or answer to anyone. To which I replied, except me and God. Right, Frank? And he said, well, God. And he's a beautiful human being. And I love Frank, and I look at him and Frank says, Frank, you walk into a meeting now, and when you see Frank, this is what Frank is doing. Okay, I say, here's what you do, man. I want you to read the doctor's opinion, all right? And I want you to read the first 8 pages of Bill's story, then you call me right away, okay? And I'm not talking about tomorrow, all right? I'm talking about tonight, all right? All right. And I'm like, okay, right? I got a problem with God? I think not. Big Frank, carrying the message, man. He's fierce. Frank's he's like a modern day samurai to me, man. The guy's huge. He's an amazing human being. Doctor told Frank, you gotta lose Big Frank gotta lose some weight. Frank's heart's about to stop. His vision's getting blurred. I mean, bad stuff happening, right? Frank said, okay. Frank lost 100 pounds. He's still Big Frank. But he's a much smaller version. I said, how'd you do that? He said, one day at a time, man. Thank you, Frank. And how cool is this guy, right? I also sponsor Satan. I do. His name is Lucifer. That's his real name. Lou Offer. He's got a shaved head and 2 horns of red hair, shellacked up into horns. He's got a little beard that swirls down into a point and then kind of tips up at the end, right? Down about here. He's got a devil's tail tattooed up his back. He's got flames tattooed on his legs like he's standing in the fires of hell. And I spoke at a meeting one night, and this dude comes walking up and says, bro, you got to sponsor me. Now, immediately I become greatly concerned about what it is I'm throwing out there. Because clearly Satan sees that I am his guy, right? And I have sponsored him. Louis just celebrated 10 years of sobriety. Louis is an amazing human being. Sponsors a lot of guys, helps a lot of people. When those little speed freaks on Hollywood Boulevard out in Hollywood, right? I mean, these guys, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, and they come screaming into the Midnight Madness meetings in Hollywood, and I mean just in time. If you can imagine 15 years old and getting here just in time. Come tweaking in off that street in those Midnight Madness meetings, man, they look around and go, holy shit, the devil got sober. They see Louis standing over there with the horns and the whole thing, right? Louis goes walking over and puts his arm around him and says, it's all right, little bro, you don't ever have to get loaded again, one day at a time if you don't want to. And I just want to cry when I see that. And they look at him and they go, I am so into this. Right? Now I could walk up to them and say, little brother, my name's Earl. I got 22 years clean and sober, and I'm gonna show you how to catch a buzz that is more fierce than anything you have ever known in your life. And they'll look at me and go, yeah, 22 years, right? Either you didn't use like me, or you're lying. There's a lost weekend in there somewhere. They'll believe Louis.
They don't believe me, they'll believe him. And they don't know that when they pass on me and sit down with Louis, they just move to another seat at the same table. And who cares? They say, Earl, I got to pass, I'm going to go with Lou. I say, okay. I just smile and go, all right. That's a big shift in game plan, pal. Right? Right? And we all end up, brothers and sisters, doing the same deal, man. The common problem and the common solution drawing us closer and closer together. Step 12, having had a spiritual awakening. As the result of doing these steps, that was the whole point. Having been restored to sanity, soundness of mind, relieved of the obsession to drink and use, walking the earth a free man. What do I do? Because I've been coming to Alcoholics Anonymous and going to these meetings and talking to this sponsor, going to these book stays, and I've been take from you, which is precisely what I should have been doing. It's taken from you. Right? When Donald looked at me and said, Earl, it's really not necessary that you share because you don't have anything we want. That was a fair and reasonable statement. Sit down, shut up, and listen was really applicable to me. And when they said to me to do that, it was really the kinder, gentler thing to say. If they had said, well, Earl, what do you think? Earl, if my sponsor had called me and said, Earl, would you like to go to a meeting? Would you like to go? Or, Earl, we're all going to go to a meeting over here. Would you like to join us? This never, ever happened. I would come home from work and I'd hit the answering machine and it would be Donald. Donald Madden, we're meeting at 2nd and Santa Monica at 8 o'clock. The meeting starts at 8:30. You be there by 8. Click. Well, thanks for the invitation. I would go be there at 8. The meeting's at 8:30. Why am I here at 8? Because there's people here that are newer than you, if you can believe that. There's people here that actually know even less than you. Maybe you could help them out. Get out of your self-centered little brain and help them out. Glad I asked, Donald. Thanks. Go be there for somebody else, right? Oh, okay. And go and do. He'd say, go pick up Ed. He's on the corner of 2nd and Santa Monica, 6th and Santa Monica. Pick him up and bring him to Ohio Street. Fine. Click. I just go, and I do it. And what happened was I got introduced to contrary action. Nobody asked me what I thought, what my best thinking was on this. We all knew it sucked. We're going to go with his best thinking. That's the great thing about a sponsor. Use the best thinking of another. That's one of the great surrenders around here, to be willing to go with the best thinking of another. One who has what it is I seek. Comfortable sobriety. Someone who's comfortable sober. Somebody who's free. Somebody who's been relieved of the obsession of drink and use. That's what I'm after. The rest of you hear that? Oh, good. That's good. That's good. I'm getting really, really tired, man, because the bells are starting. If it's just me, I can roll with it. I got lots of experience. Oh, okay. Right, we ask people to turn their cell phones off. Thank you. You saw me go away right there. Didn't you just see it happen? I remember being in an AA meeting in the back of Ohio Street on a Saturday night, and I couldn't go another step. I was about 2 years sober. I was done. Saturday night. Couldn't do it. Done. It's too hard. It's too damn hard. And I just was caving in. I was just caving in. I couldn't move. And Donald saw me. The main speaker's up talking. And he gets up, and he walks up to the podium, and he taps the speaker on the shoulder in the middle of his talk. The guy steps aside, and he gets up at the podium, and he goes, "Earl!" And I'm in the back of the thing, and I just, oh, fuck. And we're having a meeting. Right, okay. Now everybody else in the meeting is going, who the hell is Earl? Right? Because I don't talk to anybody but Donald. I don't. I never took a chip. I didn't take a kick till I was 3 years sober. Didn't say a word in AA till I was 2.5. I'm a slow burn, man. I'm a slow burn. But I'm still here. Because every time it came down to the wire, every time a line got drawn in the sand, I stepped over it. Somebody said to me, how can you get through the fear of letting go? How do you get over the fear of letting go? To be able to let go. And I said, you don't. You let go in the face of it. We don't wait till we're not afraid to do stuff around here. We do it in the face of that fear. We take action in the face of the fear. That's how the fear gets relieved. You get what I'm saying? It's the action. You don't have to like it. You don't have to think it's a good idea, Earl. You just have to do it. So I do it. I do it all. I have the awakening. I'm free to the beast. The beast leaves. I'm done. Right? I'm able to, on a daily basis, engage in the behavior that makes it possible for me to walk the earth free of the obsession of drink and use. I have addressed the obsession of the mind and the allergy of the body. Life's just getting more and more and more miraculous. I've been coming to AA all this time to take, and I've been given precisely what I need. What do? I now go to meetings to give. I now take the place of the ones who've gone before me. I now go to the meeting, and I am not there to take from the meeting, but I am there to be of service to that meeting. I'm there to be an example of what can happen. I stand there just buzzing away. And the newcomers come in and go, what's that vibe? Right? Because Fred Ellis is gone. I can't tell them, go stand behind Fred Ellis after the meeting at Thursday night Brentwood Beginners Workshop and check that buzz out. Because Fred's gone. But Fred gave that buzz to a lot of men. You can go to that meeting now, and there's other guys I can point to. Go listen to him. Go listen to him. When we go to a meeting and a certain guy's speaking, and I say to my boys, phaser shields down, boys. This one's safe. Just let it happen. Soak this man in. Because he's going to throw down. He's going to tell you the real deal. He's going to talk about trusting God, cleaning house, and helping others. Me, God, and you, right? I was in Texas earlier this year, right? And I go walk in a room and Circe's sitting there. Circe's 92 years old. Been married to the same woman for 68 years. Sober 57 years. Now AA is only what? 66? Is that right? 67? Last July? Last June? June 10th? I got a few things left in here. Circe says, Earl, what are you doing here? I'm like, Jesus, Circe knows my name. Hi, Circe. I tell them they should give Circe a ring so we got something to kiss when we see him. All right? Because Circe used to travel. Circe and his wife and Bill W. and his wife used to travel together. They were traveling buddies, right? Back in the beginning days, right? And I had flashback 17 years. I'm 5 years sober. I've gone to nothing but AA meetings. People are saying, let's go to this conference. Let's do this. No, man, I got to go to a meeting. I was so afraid of changing anything that I was going to get loaded. I just went to meetings. I'm going to meetings. And I took a chance, and I said there was a conference that was like 20 minutes south of where I was living. And I got my little car, man. I drove down there, and I paid my thing, and I went in, and I snuck into the back of this meeting, which just terrified me. There was like 2,000 people in this room. And there was a guy named Franklin W. from Olive Branch, Mississippi, standing up there, sharing away. And I'm in the back, and all of a sudden Franklin W. says, I'll sum up Alcoholics Anonymous for you in 6 words. Those 6 words being trust God, clean house, help others. And it blew the top of my head off. I had a spiritual experience standing right there. Yeah, it all fits, doesn't it? All the little things we've been talking about all day, bam, there they are. Trust God, clean house, help others. Me, God, and you. Steps, the whole 9 yards. It's there. It's right there. The action plan, what I do in meetings, how I function on a daily basis from the moment I open my eyes till I go to bed at night. Trust God, clean house, help others. I stay in there, I'm on it. So I go vibrating out of that deal and I go on about my life. And I'm thinking, I got this from this guy, I don't even know who the hell this guy is. Trust God, clean house, help others. Franklin W. from Olive Branch, Mississippi. It's like branded in my brain, right? And I'm going along. 17 years later, I'm in Texas. I run into Circe. Circe says, come here, boy. How you doing? Good, man. I'm doing this. I said, what's going on, Circe? And he goes, well, I was just having a conversation with this guy over here. I was talking to him about how back in the old days when I was hanging out with Bill and stuff, I get goosebumps. Whoa. Hanging out with Bill. That doesn't come up in conversations a lot, guys I know. Well, I was hanging out with Bill Wilson, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, the largest spiritual movement on the planet today. I mean, just an amazing thing that this guy was talking about, right? Because, we were traveling, we posed the question because, there was this guy, Franklin W. More goosebumps, right? Franklin W. Ooh, it's getting weird, right? We used to go around and we'd talking about stuff, and he goes, he was carrying one of the original circuit speaker guys. And it came out of a conversation that Circe was having with Bill, and he said, you know what? I wonder what program it is that we will give to the generations that are yet to come. I mean, the world changes, things change, right? What is it? What is the common denominator? What is the core, the heart of this thing that we will pass to the future generations that have yet to come to Alcoholics Anonymous? And Bill said, well, that's easy. Trust God, clean house, help others. Get the top of my head blown off again, 17 years later, talking to, well, actually 16 years later, it was before I turned 22, in Texas earlier this year, by Circe. How do you explain this concisely? You know? How do you explain that this is about raising the dead, man? How do you explain how that happens? Well, it's simple. You know, you trust God, you clean house, you help others. Mind, body, and spirit brought together as a whole human being. Therein lies the balance we seek, right? How an individual that's absolutely, completely, and totally addicted, enslaved by alcohol and drugs could rise up out of a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Interestingly enough, something that remains, in fact, a hopeless state of mind and body for the great majority of us. We come into these rooms and we think this becomes the norm for us. Sober people. People get drunk, they come to AA, they get sober, and live happily ever after. That ain't the case. From right here, you could probably throw a rock and hit 100 people for every one in here that knows they're alcoholic, would love to stop drinking, and can't. Because it's got them by the throat. This isn't the common experience. This is our common experience, but that's us. That's not all alcoholics. This is a rare, remarkable gift. And what I'm asked for this incredible, remarkable blessing in my life is that I engage in this process to go steps 1 through 11. Having had the experience, having been given the remarkable thing, having been restored to sanity, soundness of mind, having been relieved of the obsession to drink, freed from the beast, finally, after 16 years of mayhem, I'm asked to practice these principles and carry the message. I'm asked to go back to these meetings that have saved my life, to these people that have saved my life, and pick up the torch that they have set down, because they have passed on. To be the one that carries the message of the original 100. To be that guy now, not to be the one who benefits from it, but be the one who is willing to pass that on. It's the only thing Donald Madden ever asked of me. So I'll give you everything I've got. Everything. I'm going to ask one thing of you. When you catch this buzz, when it lights up your life, when it goes so far past not drinking and using, it's blowing your mind on a daily basis. When you catch that buzz, I want you to give freely to the next guy coming through the door as it's been freely given to you. And I promised him that I would do that. And I've honored that promise every day since. Every day since. And he's been dead 8 years. Last July 26th. And I will honor that one day at a time until the day I die. Why? Because it works. You can say whatever else you want about this thing, but you must say, and it works, if we work it. The 12th step is an opportunity. What it does is it proves to me that I can view life in a completely different manner. An example. How many of you were forced at some time during the course of your life to stand in lines? When you go to the market, you have to stand in a line. When you go to the DMV, you have to stand in a line. When you go to the movies, you have to stand in a line. When you cross a bridge, you got to wait in line, don't you? May I suggest that you don't have to, that you get to. You're going to wait either way. You can choose to have to wait if you wish. I choose to get to wait. I get to change the way I perceive it, that I get to be a man among men. I'm not locked in a cage. I'm not buried. I've lived 2 decades beyond anything anybody expected. I ran into an old family friend not too long ago who said to me, "You know, Earl, we're very proud of you." And I said, "Why?" Because pride's got nothing to do with my life. And they said, "She's a normie." And she said, "Well, you know, we had to let you go. We loved you, but we had to let you go. All of us. We all let you go. Because it was too painful to watch. And there was no way you were going to survive the course of your life. And we knew it and we accepted it and we let you go. You were 27 years old. I'm 50. Now, I know you're shocked to hear that because I look so wonderful. Heroin is a remarkable preservative. But you get what I'm saying? Look, it's huge, this thing. This goes so far past not drinking and using. There's a buzz here so powerful, and all you got to do is get here. Right here, right now. See, this is the thing, right here, right now, that I lost. That's what alcohol and drugs took away from me. Because right here, right now, I'm self-centered and I'm afraid. Right here, right now, I'm comparing my insides to your outsides and I'm losing every time. Right here, right now, I can't do it. I'm too frightened. But you put drugs and alcohol in me and I feel like I can function in the world. Ultimately, what it does is it takes right here, right now away from me. I like to think that I like alcohol, heroin, barbiturates. These are a few of my favorite things, right? This is where I like to go down and out. My idea of a good night's just sitting around checking my pulse. That's a good night. But if you don't have any of that, I'll take the cocaine. Right? Can't go down, let's go up. Because it's not about down or up, it's about getting out of right here, right now. And right here, right now is all there is. There's nothing else. This is it now. This is where I'm going to know dignity as a man. This is where I'm going to experience freedom. This is where I'm going to know peace. This is where I'm going to love you. This is where I'm going to feel love. Something I never felt in my life before coming here. Feel it. You could tell me you love me. I didn't understand. I couldn't let it in. Now I feel loved. It's an amazing, warm, nurturing feeling. It's like a blanket. It's a remarkable thing. Now. Alcoholics Anonymous gave me back now. Right now. I lost it to the beast. Got it back here. Nothing can happen at any other time than right now. So when I go to a meeting, with whatever attitude I have, and I sit down and some guy comes up to me and says, Earl, can I ask you a question? Or thanks, you said this, and thanks, or that. I feel like I have purpose and I have value in my life. And I came here without either. What I discover in the doing of it and in the being of service and going back to give instead of take, is I start to find where the real buzz is. It is in working with the new people. It is in feeling like I'm in the game because I'm willing to face my worst fear to come here. You know? And then I'll get on another plane tomorrow. I landed here and I was thinking about, I've never seen the United States. I could get a car and drive home because I don't want to do that again. And I'll get on the plane. I'll get on the plane and I'll fly home. Right? And I'll get home and I'll be exhausted and I'll get up Monday. And you want to know something? I'm not doing any of it because I'm a good guy. It's got nothing to do with it. I'm not doing it because I'm a fine example of Alcoholics Anonymous. You know why I'm doing it? Because I'm catching such a powerful buzz being one of you. I don't want to give it up. I don't want to give it up. I like the buzz. I'm as big a pig sober as I was using. I was never interested in a little bitty baby buzz out there. You never heard me say, no thanks, I've had enough. If you can say it, it's not true. He understands, right? Man. I never said, no more for me, I'm driving. Never said that. Never. No, that you can have that last little bit. I'm fine over here. Shut up. Never said that. And I'm not any different in here. Right? I work all 12 steps in order. I go to regular meetings regularly. I look my sponsor in the eye every Monday night. I do what he asks me to do. I say yes to AA requests, far beyond what anybody in my personal life seems to think is reasonable. I thank them for sharing. I'm catching a huge buzz. I was exhausted when I got here. I was exhausted. Perfect example, last night. I'm exhausted. The guy picks me up. It takes 1 hour and 50 minutes to go to the hotel. I get to the hotel. I go upstairs. You can touch the walls in the room. Right? There's a single bed, a little TV. I'm very fortunate, apparently, to have my own bath. The lobby's fabulous. But once you're in, it's a whole new awakening when you hit your floor, right? And Ava's looking at me like, oh, Lord, just hang with me, right? And I get there and I look at this room and I go, what the hell is this shoebox? Never been in a hotel room this small, for Christ's sake. Bathroom's bigger than the room. How am I supposed to watch that TV from there? I can't. What? I mean, literally, the single bed is half the room. Right? My nightstand is my suitcase. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ. And then I'm exhausted, right? And then the street noise. Apparently, you're all shooting at each other all the time because the sirens are endless. The sirens are going, and the ambulances, and the police, and apparently this is all happening on my block. Because, I got 2 hours sleep. But you know what happened to me in the middle of the night? I'm laying there, and I thought to myself, you can look at this any way you want. And I remembered being in boarding school when I first started getting loaded in my dorm room. It's about that size. I remember being in that dorm room and being miserable all the time. Has nothing changed? Earl, has nothing changed? Or can you be quite comfortable here? And I thought to myself, it's warm enough in here. I don't feel cold. The TV, by God, it's a color TV. Right? The bathroom, lovely. The bed, nobody in it but me, plenty of room. Right? Suddenly, I like my hotel room. I was going to go downstairs to the lobby. I had figured it out in my head. I would go downstairs and I would simply say, I'm in New York. I'd try to get a little New Yorkish about it. And I would say, I'd say, hi, Earl H, 1616. The room sucks. Give me another room. Not can you get me another room. Just get me another room. It doesn't have to be in this building. It could be in another hotel. Just you get it. By the time I got up this morning and went downstairs, the front desk said, how are you? I said, fabulous. Having fun. I'm kind of high. I've had 2 hours sleep. I'm going to go sit in front of a bunch of people and talk about strange things. It's going to be great. I feel okay, right? I go to the lobby. There's a couple of people there to meet me. I didn't know them, but I knew who they were the minute I saw them. A bunch of people in the lobby. I went, there they are. There they are. There they are. How you doing? Good. Haven't slept. Room like a shoebox. It's okay. Let's go. Right? Look forward to going back to my little room. Very little care is needed to keep it very neat and tidy. Right? You get that you pick your perception of things. What's going to work for you? Life on life's terms is life on life's terms. The 12th step gets me out of myself, has me being of service to other people. Out of self, more God. Whether I believe in God, understand God, irrelevant. It's happening. I can just out of self, more God. Out of self, more God. It's going, it's working, I'm in the world, I'm having fun. I'm allowed to change my perception of everything as a result of this process. I'm able to look at it any way I want. It is what it is, right? I don't have to go into denial and say, well, Earl, that's crazy. You're not in reality here. Hell, I'm not. I'm a completely reality-based guy. But I can see the positive in things where before I couldn't see it, which makes my life better. I'm having a very good time, as you can see. Right? Right now, my left leg is completely numb. I cannot feel my left leg. I've been standing here all day while you guys lounge comfortably in your little auditorium seats. That's why I get paid the big dough to stand up here. But guess what? All you got today was me. Look what I got. Look what I got. Sure, you. Look at Margaret. You want to hug me? That's fine. Thank you. That's not why I brought you here, but that was great. Thanks. Look at that. How cool is that? That's what I've been looking at all day. Y'all should be up here. It's incredible. But then you wouldn't be able to see you out there, so forget it. Look at them. Powerful. See, they're a powerful group. Those are drug addicts and alcoholics. All of them. They're drug addicts and alcoholics. This is Maggie. You know who they are? How nice and pleasant they are?
Uh-huh.
They said, hi, Maggie. Isn't this nice? I mean, isn't it amazing? Look at him. Look at Norman smiling over there. He's actually asleep. He's able to do that. Right? Should be dead. They're not. Saturday. It's raining outside. You stay home on a Saturday when it's raining outside. Right? Look at them all here. Who they come to see? A total stranger, a babbling idiot from Los Angeles. We all know those people are crazy. California people. And there they are. Look at them. Being supportive of me, smiling at me. I love them. Are they nice? Thanks.
Thank you.
I get you. I get Tony and Tom. I get Steve. I get all these guys, right? I get Norman over here. I get these guys that I had lunch with. I had lunch with a bunch of guys. We had this great time, right? Everybody eating. Everybody together. Talking about being alive and sober and free. That's what we're doing. If you're new, and some of you are here, I met somebody with 51 days during one of the little breaks, right? Congratulations. Yeah, there you are. Congratulations, you know? Turn around and walk back in the teeth of your disease. Be involved in something like this above and beyond, going to meetings, you know? It's not required of you, but there's a buzz to be had here. The people in this room are the ones that are getting it. There was a woman who came to me. It was great, too, and you give so freely to me. The last break, I'm walking up and I'm talking to Jackie, and Jackie goes, you know, the way I do it is, I think that when I pray, I'm talking to God. And when I meditate, I'm listening to God. And I thought, I love that. I got to pass that on to them. That basically is how I got all the information I've passed on to you today. It's from others who walked this path with us. Everything I've got. None of this, I didn't come here with any of this. I got it here. So it's available to all of us. We just pass it around and share it. It's our truth. It's our experience. It's our journey. So participate as best as you can. Be a part of this. Laugh with us. The healing. Have a good time. Revel in it. Don't take yourselves too seriously, but take this very seriously. Right? It's got to be fun, man. Make it fun. There's only one thing in this book that they say they insist on. We absolutely insist upon enjoying life. That's the only thing in here that they insist on. And I suggest that that's precisely what we should do. So when you find yourself unavoidably in a line, you get to be in the line. When you find yourself unavoidably in traffic, good, you get to stop for just a little bit. Right? More music. More quiet. The option's available to you. When you got here, weren't you the kind of person that when you were in the apartment, the TV had to be on at all times? When you're in the car, the radio has to be on at all times? God forbid you should be left with the sound of what's inside your head. You got to be distracted at all times. How nice now to be able to drive down the road and just be quiet. Right? I kept saying that the place that I'm trying to get to in my life is that when they say, Earl, we're going to put you in this little box and we're going to put you there for 24 hours. You can take everything you need to be happy, to have a great time. You can take anything you want with you into the box. Just give us the list and we'll give it to you. For me to have a blast in the box, all I need is some water. That's it. I don't need anything else. I've been trying to get the list as short as I can possibly get it, so I can be happy, joyous, and free without the need of outside components. Me, from the inside out. My mind. Get to be me in there. Comfortable. Having a good time. Digging it. Catching a buzz. What do I need? A little water would be nice for 24 hours. But that's all I need. That's a cool thing. The list used to be extremely long. It's not anymore. That's freedom for a guy like me. Right? I'm fine. And it's a result of being with you. I hope you got something out of this. I've really enjoyed being with you, and I wish you peace. I'll see you soon.